Hi, I'm Adeline. Today, I'm going to tell you my story. But before I continue, please share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. 8 months ago, I thought I had the perfect life with my husband, James. We'd been married for 3 years, had our dream house in the suburbs, and were expecting our first child. But one stupid joke revealed the house of cards I'd been living in all along. Are you nervous about tomorrow? My sister Melissa asked, helping me pack my hospital bag. I was scheduled for induction the next morning. Terrified, I admitted, folding a nightgown. But James seems even more nervous than me. He's been acting weird for weeks. Weird how? Melissa asked, raising an eyebrow. Jumpy, secretive with his phone, working late, classic stuff. You don't think he's... Melissa trailed off. Cheating? The thoughts crossed my mind. I sighed, sitting on the edge of the bed. But who cheats on their pregnant wife? That's cartoon villain territory. What are you going to do? Nothing yet. But I did make a joke earlier to see his reaction. Told him I invited Connor to the delivery room tomorrow. Melissa's eyes widened. Your ex-boyfriend Connor? The one James has always been insecure about? That's the one. It was just a stupid joke. I haven't even spoken to Connor in years. How'd James react? He went completely white, muttered something about needing air, and left. That was 3 hours ago. Melissa checked her watch. And he's still not back? That's concerning. I know, I said, rubbing my belly as the baby kicked. He's not answering my texts either. My phone buzzed. Oh, thank God, I said, grabbing it. But it wasn't James. Who is it? Melissa asked. Sarah from James's office. That's weird. She's never texted me before. What does she want? I read the message and felt my blood run cold. She says she needs to talk to me about James. Says it's important. Call her, Melissa urged. Sarah answered on the first ring. Adeline, I'm so sorry to bother you. What's going on, Sarah? I don't know how to say this. I've been debating whether to tell you for months. Tell me what? My heart was pounding. James and we've been seeing each other since the Christmas party. The room started spinning. You've been what? I ended it last week. I couldn't do it anymore. Not with you about to have a baby. But when I told him it was over, he said he was planning to leave you anyway. I clutched my belly protectively. He said what? He said once the baby comes, he'd wait a month, then tell you it wasn't working. I'm so sorry, Adeline. I thought you should know before tomorrow. After I hung up, Melissa held me while I sobbed. What am I going to do? I'm having his baby tomorrow. First, we're going to get through tonight, Melissa said firmly. Then tomorrow, you're going to have that baby. Everything else can wait. He's supposed to be my support person, I choked out. I'll be there instead. You don't need him. At that moment, the front door opened. James walked in, looking disheveled. Where have you been? I demanded. Out driving. I needed to think. His eyes were red. Had he been crying? About what? The fact that you've been sleeping with Sarah from accounting? The color drained from his face. How did you... She called me. Told me everything. Including your plan to leave me after the baby comes. Adeline, I can explain. Save it, I snapped. I'm having your child tomorrow and you're planning an exit strategy? It's complicated, he mumbled. No, it's actually very simple. You're a cheater and a coward. That's rich coming from you, he suddenly snarled. Inviting your ex-boyfriend to our child's birth? Were you cheating too? That was a joke. I haven't spoken to Connor in years. So you say. But why make that joke? Why try to hurt me like that? Because I suspected something was wrong. I was trying to get a reaction from you. Well, you got one, he said coldly. I'm not coming tomorrow. What? You heard me. If you want Connor there so badly, call him. I'm sure he'd be thrilled. You're walking out on your child's birth because of a stupid joke? I'm walking out because our marriage is a joke. He grabbed his keys. I'm staying at a hotel tonight. Good luck tomorrow. And just like that, he left. The next morning, Melissa drove me to the hospital. I was numb, going through the motions like a zombie. Dr. Reynolds is on her way, the nurse said after checking me. How are you feeling? Like my life is falling apart, I said honestly. First babies are scary, she said sympathetically, misunderstanding. It's not that. My husband left me last night. Her eyes widened. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. The worst part is, he won't answer my calls. His own child is about to be born and he's just gone. The nurse patted my hand. Sometimes men panic before the baby comes. I've seen it before. This is more than panic, I said. This is betrayal. Dr. Reynolds arrived shortly after, her kind face concerned when she saw my red eyes. Everything okay, Adeline? My husband won't be joining us. We had a situation. She nodded professionally. That's all right. You've got your sister here, and we're going to get through this together. Can I ask you something? I said, wincing through a contraction. Is it normal to feel this angry while having a baby? She smiled gently. In your situation? Absolutely. Channel that energy into bringing your little one into the world. Melissa squeezed my hand. And remember, James is the one missing out, not you. He doesn't deserve to be here anyway, I said, tears streaming down my face. Not after what he did. Focus on your baby, Dr. Reynolds advised. Everything else can be sorted out later. As the contractions intensified, Melissa coached me through each one. You're doing great, Addie. Just breathe. I can't believe he's not here, I gasped between pains. We took those classes together. He promised he wouldn't leave my side. Try not to think about him right now, Melissa urged. I'm trying, but it's hard when... A contraction cut me off, stronger than before. 8 centimeters, Dr. Reynolds announced after checking me. Not much longer now. I'm scared, Mel, I whispered when the doctor stepped out. What if I can't do this alone? You're not alone, she said firmly, and you're stronger than you think. 12 hours later, I gave birth to Emma Grace, 7 pounds, 8 ounces of perfection. When they placed her on my chest, I felt an overwhelming surge of love and protectiveness. She's beautiful, Melissa whispered, tears streaming down her face. She looks like you, Dr. Reynolds observed. Those eyes are definitely yours. A nurse poked her head in. There's someone asking for Adeline? Says he's the father. My heart jumped. James is here? But it wasn't James who walked in. It was my former colleague, Michael. Michael, what are you doing here? Hey, he said awkwardly, holding a teddy bear. I heard what happened from Melissa. Thought you might want some more support. I felt tears welling up again. Thank you. Is that okay? Me being here? I can leave if you want privacy. No, please stay, I said quickly. It's really good to see a friendly face. Michael smiled, approaching the bed cautiously. So this is the little one? Emma Grace, I said, tilting her toward him. Want to hold her? Can I? I mean, I'm not family or anything. You showed up, I said simply. That makes you more family than some people. Michael stayed for an hour, making me laugh despite everything. After he left, Melissa gave me a knowing look. What? I asked. Michael's had a crush on you forever, you know. Don't be ridiculous, we're just friends. If you say so. He dropped everything to be here today. That's not just friendship. He was being nice. He was being smitten, she corrected. And honestly, after what James did, you deserve someone who looks at you the way Michael does. I'm not thinking about dating right now, Mel. I just had a baby and my marriage imploded. Just saying, when you're ready. He's a good guy. 2 days later, I was discharged. James hadn't called or visited. His absence was like a physical wound. I've moved your stuff into my spare room, Melissa said, helping me into her car with the baby. You're staying with me until you figure things out? I need to go home eventually, Mel. Not yet. Besides, he doesn't deserve to see Emma. What am I going to tell her when she's older? I wondered aloud, watching Emma sleep in her car seat. About her father? The truth, Melissa said firmly, that he made choices that hurt you both. What if she blames herself? We won't let her. We'll make sure she knows it was never about her. The first night at Melissa's was the hardest. Emma woke every 2 hours, and each time I reached for James out of habit, only to remember he wasn't there. You okay? Melissa asked, finding me crying in the kitchen at 3 a.m. while warming a bottle. Not really, I admitted. I keep thinking about what Sarah said, that he was planning to leave anyway. Then you're better off without him. But why string me along? Why not just leave before the baby? Because he's a coward, Melissa said bluntly. Always has been. Over the next week, James finally texted, asking to see the baby. I ignored him. He's texting me now, Melissa told me one evening. Says you're not responding. Wants to know if you and the baby are okay. Tell him we're fine. Without him. Gladly, Melissa said, typing furiously. 2 weeks after Emma was born, there was a knock at Melissa's door. It was James, looking haggard. Can we talk? He asked when I opened the door. There's nothing to say. I want to see my daughter. You lost that right when you walked out. Adeline, please. I made a terrible mistake. With Sarah, with everything. I want to come home. I want us to be a family. There is no us anymore, I said coldly. You can see Emma with a court-ordered visitation schedule. His face hardened. You're being vindictive. No, I'm being a mother. My daughter deserves better than a father who abandons her before she's even born. You can't keep her from me. I have rights. Rights? I laughed bitterly. You're talking about rights after what you did? I'm still her father. A father who chose to sleep with his coworker while his wife was pregnant. A father who planned to leave us. A father who wasn't there when she took her first breath. I was upset about Connor. Stop using that excuse. There was no Connor. It was a joke because I suspected you were cheating. And guess what? I was right. A car pulled up and Michael stepped out carrying groceries. Everything okay here? He asked, eyeing James suspiciously. Who's this? James demanded. A friend, I said simply. Someone who actually showed up when I needed support. Are you seeing him already? That's none of your business anymore. James looked between us, fury building in his eyes. You were cheating. I knew it. No, James, the only cheater here is you. Is he staying here? James demanded, pointing at Michael. Again, not your business, I said firmly. Now please leave before I call the police. This isn't over, James warned, storming back to his car. Michael approached cautiously after James drove away. Sorry if I made things worse. You didn't, I assured him. He was already being difficult. I brought dinner, he said, holding up the groceries. And ice cream. Figured you could use some comfort food. I smiled gratefully. You have no idea how much that means right now. That night, Michael stayed for dinner. He was wonderful with Emma, holding her with natural ease. You're good with her, I observed. I have 3 nieces, he explained. Lots of practice. Well, she likes you. The feeling's mutual, he said, smiling at the baby. She's amazing, just like her mom. I blushed, surprised by how his compliment made me feel. Over the next few months, a routine developed. Michael became a regular visitor, bringing dinner or coffee, always ready to help with Emma. James continued to text and call, his messages growing increasingly desperate, then angry. He's threatening to sue for custody, I told Melissa one day, showing her his latest message. Let him try, she scoffed. No judge will look favorably on a guy who abandoned his pregnant wife for his coworker. Speaking of Sarah, apparently she's telling everyone at his office what happened. His reputation is in shambles. Good, Melissa said savagely. Actions have consequences. 6 months after Emma was born, I finally agreed to meet James at a cafe to discuss co-parenting. He looked terrible with dark circles under his eyes and noticeable weight loss. Thank you for meeting me, he said as I sat down. This is about Emma, not you. I know. How is she? Perfect. Growing every day. He nodded sadly. Adeline, I know I can't fix what I did, but I'm begging you for another chance. I love you both so much. No, you don't, I said calmly. You love the idea of us. the perfect family image. But when things got real, you ran. I made a mistake. You made a series of choices, James, for months. I'll do anything, he pleaded. Counseling, whatever you want. What I want is a divorce. His face crumpled. Please don't say that. It's already in motion, I said, sliding an envelope across the table. My lawyer drew up the papers. You've been planning this? Since the day you walked out on us. I'm not interested in revenge, James. I just want to move forward with my life. With Michael? He asked bitterly. Maybe. He's been there for me and Emma in ways you never were. So I've lost you both forever because of one mistake? No. You lost us because of months of lies, a deliberate affair, and an abandonment plan. The delivery room incident was just the final straw. I know about your joke now, he said quietly. Connor reached out to me, said he was shocked to hear about our split since he hasn't spoken to you in years. Like I told you. I should have trusted you. Yes, you should have. But it's too late now. As I left the cafe, I felt a weight lifting. James had destroyed our marriage, but in doing so, he'd freed me from a relationship with someone who didn't truly value me. Life moved on. James's company downsized, and he lost his job. Karma for workplace romance, perhaps. He now sees Emma twice a month, supervised by my mother. Sarah, I heard, moved to another state after facing social ostracism at work. As for me, I started my own business from Melissa's spare room, a small consulting firm that quickly gained traction. Michael and I took things slowly, but his steady presence in our lives was healing. 1 year after Emma's birth, we celebrated her birthday at the park. As I watched her toddle around on wobbly legs, Michael approached with 2 ice cream cones. One for you, he said, handing me a cone, and one for the birthday girl in a bit. Thank you, I said, leaning against his shoulder. Not just for the ice cream. For everything. There's nowhere I'd rather be, he said simply. Later that night, after Emma was asleep, Michael and I sat on Melissa's porch swing. I've been thinking, he said carefully. My lease is up next month. Oh, my heart skipped. Yeah, and that house you were looking at has 3 bedrooms. Pretty big for just you and Emma. I smiled. Are you inviting yourself to move in with us? Maybe, he said, taking my hand. If that's something you might want. Looking at him in the soft porch light, I realized I'd found something I never had with James. Genuine partnership. I think Emma and I would like that very much, I said. For you to move in. For us to be a family. His smile was brighter than the stars above us. Really? Really, I confirmed. Life's too short to waste time being afraid of happiness. One stupid joke had revealed my husband's true character and ended my marriage. But in losing what I thought was my perfect life, I found something much more authentic. Sometimes the most painful endings lead to the most beautiful beginnings. So tell me, what would you have done in my situation? Would you have given James a second chance, or moved forward like I did?